Well, the first order of business is finding a new and more affordable hotel, but only after downing the included continental breakfast of croissants and café, and so they should be for $100. One look out the window says, I'm in Paris. And one look out this window says, I'm at the Paris Air Show. I've wanted to come here ever since my first flight instructor told me about it over 14 years ago. There's plenty to see here. The newest aircraft from just about every major aircraft manufacturer around the globe. Many are from Europe and unfamiliar to us in the United States, including the largest, the Antonov 225. There's flight demonstrations every afternoon, featuring some of Europe's premier defenders, yanking and banking. The Aerospace Museum here at Le Bourget provides a look at some very unique aircraft. So unique, there's only one of each. And perhaps this is why it's in a museum. We don't need no stinking spinners. And a very special treat is a view of the very first Concorde, inside and out. It slices, it dices, it juliennes fries. Even if you aren't a die-hard aviation nut like myself, the Paris Air Show is a great place to get up close to parts of an airplane you'd only see if you built or maintained these giants. So at the end of my first day in Paris, I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to get to my next stop, London. Planning ahead. Good. I'm here at the train station, and I went to the information booth and spoke to them in English, and they gave me these really nifty little timetables, and they're all in French, which does me not much good. Gives me some information, times and prices, but as far as days they run on, I have no idea with French, so there it is. To do the trip the old-fashioned way, taking a train from Paris to Calais, a ferry from Calais to Dover, and a train from Dover to London, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take about 2 hours just to get from Paris to Calais. Whereas if I go by the Eurostar, it's going to take 2 hours to do the whole trip, and I'll have a whole new adventure. Of course, it's probably going to cost me about $200. So, what to do? First idea that comes to mind is to grab some chow, and then try buying a ticket on one of these nifty little automated ticket seller thingies. But unfortunately, it didn't like my credit card. Then it was back to my hotel to enjoy the view. Look out the window, says, yep, I'm in Paris. At around $55 a night, this hotel, found in my trusty guidebook, was a step down in price, and believe it or not, a step up in quality. However, there are some things overseas that really makes one miss home. The old handheld shower routine is right on the top of my list.
This has got to be the smallest elevator, or lift, that I've ever been in.
Croissant, baguette, liverwurst, tea, café, orange juice. This is the breakfast included each day.
It gets you off to a quick start, ready to go, so you're ready to do some serious touristing. You're probably thinking, gee, he didn't show much of that air show. Have you ever seen a Crazy Ivan? Well, here it is. Crazy Ivan. A handy little maneuver to get the bad guys off your tail, demonstrated here by the Russian Su-30. Now that looks like fun. And how about a stall followed by a weightless freefall? Crazy Ivan. A full afterburner barrel roll. An aileron roll. And finish it all off with a high-speed pass.
The maneuver starts with a sideways roll to the inverted, and then a pull out in a half loop, then slowly pulling.
Are you really supposed to do that kind of thing with a helicopter? I gotta say, that looks like one wild ride, and if they gave me the chance, I'd go. Glenn Curtis, one of aviation's pioneers, once said, "There's a fascination about flying that's difficult to explain and hard to resist." I think that sums it up quite nicely. While wandering the flight line, I came across a group of volunteers restoring an old World War II Lancaster Bomber.
And at the end of the war, the French Navy was searching for a sea patrol airplane, and finally found that the British had many Lancaster on storage, never used by the RAF. So they bought 54 Lancasters.
This particular aircraft crash-landed on Wallis Island in the Pacific back in the 60s.
But the Navy decided to abandon the airplane. There was only 2 Lancasters remaining. It was sitting in Wallis for about 20 years when we decided to recover. So the airplane was a very nice airplane to fly. I would say would maneuver close to a fighter. First training flight, the instructor said, "Okay, now we're making a 90-degree bank." I said, "What?" I said, "Yes, go ahead, turn the yoke." And I start turning, but easily. I was thinking it's a big airplane. So he grabs the yoke, makes 90 degrees, and we see the airplane like this. That scares you a little bit for the first time.
The vice president of the organization took me on a tour of the workshops where all the repair and restoration work is performed. And he was kind enough to arrange a special visit to the museum's archives. The short Sunderland flying boat. Before the Second World War, hard surface runways around the world were few and far between. These magnificent waterborne craft served Britain during the war in the roles of anti-submarine and maritime patrol, and they opened up the world, taking off and landing anywhere a sheltered body of water was found. Out of the 750 that were built, there are only a handful of these aircraft scattered around the globe. They were also used commercially, some being converted from the military version, and others built specially, like this one, hidden away, being readied for the public. Up until now, I had seen all the remaining Sunderland flying boats except this one.
Well, Sunderland was a very nice airplane to fly, I mean in flight. It was very nice, very easy to handle. The only problems were takeoff and landing, where you had to be very careful. The C part of the hull was a bit too short. So the airplane, during the landing, had the tendency, what we used to say, suck on the nose. So if you you could hear the means the water hitting the nose. So you had to pull the yoke all the way. Otherwise, if you let him go, he would suck, 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 put the nose in the water and turn over. It was very dangerous.
After World War II, my father joined the Royal New Zealand Air Force and flew aboard Sunderlands as a flight engineer.
The life on board the Sunderland was very nice. You had a kitchen, you had a toilet, you had bunks for long flights, and you had even below on the lower floor a big table with seats where you can take your meal. Definitely the Sunderland was made British comfort. Oh yeah, it was really nice for that.
Finally, it was almost time to leave, but one last treat was waiting in the skies above. The Antonov 225, the largest airplane ever built. The aircraft was designed in part to carry Russia's version of the space shuttle. And you can see here the mounting points between the wings. It looks like this guy is a bit more difficult to land than your average Cessna.